Childhood obesity. Prevent now before it's too late. Childhood obesity is undoubtedly a growing menace. The prevalence of this condition is so high that tackling it is quite challenging. We all are aware of obesity and its dangers, but what is this childhood obesity? Childhood obesity is a condition where body fat in excess impacts the child's health and well-being in general. Being a global phenomenon, it is estimated that the number of overweight children below the age of 5 exceeds 40 million all over the world. Asia alone comprises about half and Africa about a quarter of all those affected. The major area of concern is that the overweight and obese children are most likely to carry this trait into their adulthood and shall be prone to suffer from lifestyle-related health conditions like type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular diseases at a young age. These factors have made childhood obesity a serious public health issue. However, the silver lining is that childhood obesity is largely preventable, and taking necessary steps at early stages can curb the development of full-blown obesity and other diseases. Causes of childhood obesity. Childhood obesity is caused by eating too many calories and not burning enough of it. This can be attributed to several factors. 1. Poor diet. Children these days excessively indulge in unhealthy foods loaded with sugars and fats. These foods also have a high amount of calories. On the other hand, the consumption of nutrient-dense foods has also come down. This is directly responsible for childhood obesity. 2. Lack of exercise. In the past decade, a sedentary lifestyle among children has become a common thing. Smartphone, TV addiction and other entertainment are the primary cause of this. Children also spend a large amount of time indoors rather than outdoors. 3. Socioeconomic reasons. Societal factors, peer pressure, compel the child to live in an environment that encourages unhealthy eating habits. Families with limited access to resources adopt processed frozen foods which are convenient but not healthy. 4. Family reasons. If your child belongs to a family of obese or overweight members, it is most likely that he or she will suffer the same fate. The environment in the family promotes the intake of high-calorie foods, and physical activity is discouraged. 5. Psychological reasons. If your child is stressed due to family and parental pressures, he or she is at risk of developing obesity. He or she may gorge on food to overcome the stress and the accompanying boredom. Effects of childhood obesity. An obese child is most likely to continue to be affected by obesity in adulthood. The risk of premature death and disability later in life increases manifold. When childhood obesity goes unchecked, the child can develop lifestyle-related disorders and cardiovascular diseases in their adulthood. But sadly, the effects of obesity in children often do not become apparent until adulthood. The health issues emerging from childhood obesity include diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, hypertension, gastric issues, musculoskeletal disorders like osteoarthritis, certain types of cancer. How to identify childhood obesity? Identifying the standard weight status of a child and an adolescent is difficult since they undergo great physiological changes as they grow. Different methods have been adopted to ascertain a body's healthy weight. The World Health Organization (WHO) have launched two standards, one for children between the ages of 0 and 5 and the other between the ages of 5 and 19. Symptoms of child obesity. You must understand that not every child that carries extra pounds is overweight or obese. Family history and size of body frame are the key determinants in conjunction with body mass index (BMI) that gives a fair indication about it. Your doctor will first determine the BMI percentile ranking, and anything between 85 and 95 will be termed obese. 5 reasons why child obesity affects kids adversely. Obesity in children can lead to a range of conditions that can be described as a serious health risk. It adversely affects your kid's life. 1. Endocrine system. Childhood obesity causes changes in the hormonal secretion pattern of your child. The endocrine glands that produce hormone do not perform optimally, causing hormonal imbalance, impairing your child's development and growth. It results in glucose intolerance, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, hyperandrogenism, excess amount of androgen in female, impaired growth and onset of puberty. 2. Cardiovascular system. Effects of obesity in children are likely to cause serious damage to cardiovascular health. These medical conditions can lead to life-threatening conditions like hypertension, hyperlipidemia, coronary heart disease. 3. Respiratory system. In obese children, the airway for breathing gets narrowed. This results in respiratory distress, leading to the following medical conditions, which severely affects the child's sleep pattern: Obstructive sleep apnea, obesity, hypoventilation syndrome. 4. Musculoskeletal system, obesity in children is likely to cause the following in the later stage of life. Due to a higher BMI, the joints, especially the knee, is adversely affected, being unable to bear the burden of excess weight, and gives rise to painful conditions such as osteoarthritis, slipped capital femoral epiphysis (SCFE), tibia vara, Blount disease. 5. Psychosocial. The worst sort of concern caused due to the effects of childhood obesity is the psychological impact on your child. He or she is subjected to bullying that will result in distorted peer relationships, poor self-esteem, anxiety, depression. Childhood obesity solutions. Childhood obesity should be tackled with a multi-pronged strategy. The various measures to be adopted are: 1. Diet. Increase the consumption of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes and nuts. Restrict the use of saturated fats and shift to unsaturated fats instead. Limit intake of sugars. 2. Promote healthy nutrition, strengthens learning potential of children and adolescents. Reduces the risk of health problems. It ensures healthy adulthood and aging. 3. Physical activity. Every child should be encouraged to indulge in an hour of physical activity daily. Exercises to strengthen bones and muscles should be encouraged. 4. Lifestyle changes. Engage in healthy habits. Do breathing exercises to bust stress. Maintain a routine in your daily activities like walking, eating on time, sleeping for a minimum of 7 to 8 hours, etc. Combating the childhood obesity epidemic requires a sustained campaign and commitment from the public and private entities. Most of the causes of obesity in children are preventable. A sustained effort to prevent them is a priority.